Of course, now we have the $50,000 cash bond. We have the no travel. We have the electronic tether. In about 45 minutes, there's going to be a new arraignment on 2 felony charges, and we start this bond process all over again.
So we'll let Jerry Gleason, our Channel 7 legal analyst, bring us up to date and make sense of it.
Well, each case has its own bond. Each case will take its own track. Obviously, Mr. Cox wants to put a fast track on his case. He's pretty much put it out there for all to hear that he wants to be through that preliminary examination within 14 days, follow the court rule, follow what the Supreme Court says about trials. So we're looking to see if the judges let him do that.
Now they're going to set bond, though. Could he go back to jail today?
Theoretically, he could. Certainly, under the rules, if you commit a violent felony while on bond, you can be held on the new case without bond. That was not something that was at issue in the first case. I don't expect that to happen. I think you'll see another nominal amount of money just to, $50,000 on one case. The new judge will be cognizant of that, look at the facts and circumstances of this case, and see what we get out of the new case.
Now, the other case, the perjury case, is not formally there yet either, is it? He hasn't been arraigned on that?
Correct. He will be arraigned, I think, on the 14th. What has to happen is the return, which is a form from the 36th District Court, is filed with the Wayne County Circuit Court, and then thereafter, Mr. Kilpatrick will be advised via a general information, which is a pleading document. These are the charges you're going to be tried on. They're going to be the same as what was in District Court. And then thereafter, he'll have a pretrial date, any motions, and then a trial date somewhere down the road.
Now, are all these trials going to be separate, the jury trials, the perjury and obstruction of justice? Is that one trial and jury, then now the assault charges another trial and jury?
Right. What I'll call the text message case will be tried probably with Ms. Beatty as a co-defendant before one jury. The second case, which is the assault or obstruction case, is going to be tried with a separate jury, separate case altogether.
So he faces 2 trials at this point, 2 totally separate trials.
Yes, he does.
And in the court's, well, I guess, jurisdiction and instructions to everybody, they want, the state of Michigan wants this to proceed.
Yes.
In a reasonable time frame, right?
In an orderly fashion.
Okay, which means that Mr. Kilpatrick's attorneys can't delay too much more.
I think certainly they're going to do what they think is best for their client, but I think you're going to see a lot of pushback from both Kim Worthy and from Mike Cox to get this in front of a jury and get jurors deciding the facts and circumstances of each case.
And then, aside from that, you also have the other rumblings and things going on, and that's the city council talking about removing the mayor, the governor considering removing the mayor. You have all these other things going on as well.
There's certainly a lot of rumblings about the federal investigation that every so often kind of makes its way into the press. There are a lot of things in the background here that I think his attorneys have to be concerned about as each of these cases progresses.
It's going to be months, isn't it, before this is really totally resolved?
It's going to be months. Obviously, if there are issues with the mayor and his future employment, that may change dramatically the criminal case, but we'll have to wait and see.
Yeah.
Absolutely, Eric, and this is the felony warrant that Mike Cox released this morning. The Attorney General talking about, he referred to the mayor going into court yesterday and saying when he said he respected the system that he's been making a mockery of the judicial system. So yes, he's charged with 2 counts of assaulting or obstructing a police officer. We want to show you the people that this refers to. It actually goes back to an incident on July 24th when Sheriff's Detective Brian White went into a home, or trying to get into a home that was owned by Ayanna Kilpatrick. He was accompanied by Joanne Kinney, who was an investigator for the prosecutor's office. They went to this home on LaSalle. It's owned by Ayanna Kilpatrick Ferguson, who is apparently, she's married to a cousin of Bobby Ferguson, one of the mayor's friends. The mayor supposedly came out of the house. He was irate. He actually pushed Brian White, supposedly, at least according to the testimony that we've heard so far. He pushed Brian White into Joanne Kinney, although he did not physically harm Joanne Kinney. He's charged with assaulting both officers. Here's Attorney General Cox.
It is not our claim that the mayor caused a serious injury. It's not our claim that the mayor assaulted them with a weapon. It's not our claim that the mayor robbed them or broke into the house or did anything. Our claim is simply this, what the facts are, that these officers were in the course of their duty, trying to serve a subpoena. He interjected himself in that situation and assaulted the police officers, and that's a 2-year felony here in the state of Michigan. In almost 20 years as a prosecutor, now as Attorney General, I cannot recall one case where someone has assaulted a police officer when they've been trying to serve a subpoena. Yesterday, Defendant Kilpatrick stood in the 36th District Court for the city of Detroit in front of Judge Giles, and he stated this. He doubted, quote, that there had ever been a person who had gone through the legal process, who respects it more than I do. End of quote. His actions of July 24th make a mockery of that statement yesterday and prove it to be a lie.
Attorney General Mike Cox said this is a very simple case. It's an assault case. They'll just have to hear from the witnesses. He said it could happen within 90 days. He would like it to happen within 90 days. He was asked about knowing that if he is convicted of a felony, the mayor would lose his position as mayor of the city of Detroit. And Mike Cox said he didn't consider the outcome, that he was told to follow the facts, and that that's what he's doing in bringing those charges today. Reporting live.
Right, Robbie. Basically, what the City Council did today was vote unanimously in one big way to continue their process of trying to remove Mayor Kwame Kilpatrick from office. It is an official procedure that they call forfeiture. It's much like a trial where both sides present evidence in their case. Now, the forfeiture hearings are set to begin here on August 18th. And what happened this morning was the council's attorney, Bill Goodman, was here, and I asked him if these brand new felony charges leveled by the Attorney General, Michael Cox, will affect the City Council's case against Mayor Kwame Kilpatrick. Here is what he had to say. Bill, the question is, do the charges that have just been levied by the Attorney General, does that affect your case with the city?
Not at all. Our case with the city is on the mayor's use of public office for private gain and the way in which the Brown, Nelthrop, and Harris cases were settled. This is a new matter. This has not been raised, and it's not a part of the upcoming forfeiture proceedings.
Can you use it in any way as evidence to drive the mayor out of office?
It's not my role to drive, nor the council's role to drive the mayor out of office. It's their role to consider what's best for the city of Detroit and whether there's been a sufficient basis for forfeiture here. And I doubt that these matters can or would be used in any such proceeding.
The fact that he's been charged, though, doesn't affect his ability to run the city?
Of course it does, but that would be a new matter, and if that's a new matter, it needs to be raised in a new proceeding, so be it, but not in this proceeding. This proceeding, he's received notice of this proceeding, the public's received notice of this proceeding, and this proceeding involves one thing, and we're not shifting grounds here or pulling the rug out from anybody. We're going forward with what we already have.
Now, we are just outside City Council chambers right now, just a few feet. In fact, right now we are waiting for City Council to take a break, and we are going to try to get reaction from all of the City Council members regarding this tremendous news, what has happened this morning, the new felony charges leveled against Mayor Kwame Kilpatrick. Reporting live in Detroit, Bill